Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover. One that surprised fans on social media as Eminem earns a record growth in 2022 on Spotify, though his last studio album dropped nearly 3 years ago, and we'll get to more on this in a bit. Today we also have more from the 50 Cent drama just days ago when he trolled Megan Thee Stallion that sparked a roasting session for 50 on Twitter. But it's been reversed for those who took it further than objective takes to make believe, and their roasting session went viral. More on this in a bit. And today we'll start with Pusha T, who recently spoke on bodying Drake a few years ago in a recent interview. Check it out as he was asked, "Speaking on Drake, you were seen as the one person who slew Drake. This was after the two of you got into a hip-hop beef back in 2018. You treated the moment as another day on the job, but is there some part of you that wears that as a badge of honor?" And Pusha responds, "Every time I hear a subliminal in one of his songs, it just lets me know how deep it hurt him, because it's been 4 years now and we still talking about it. He is, I don't. I'm cool, but every time it's a subliminal, I'm like, yes, it burns, it still burns. It lets me know I love it." And he was asked, Drake implied that you took it to a level where you both could never squash it. Obviously, things have been quiet. Do you think he will ever jump out the window with a direct diss towards you? And Pusha responded, "We should see. I don't know what he'll do. At this point, that's contradictory. Would he jump out the window and he wanna say I took it too far? Then he gon' tell people, tell the label, tell J Prince, my God, it's a lot. With all that being said, it's like I'm not interested anymore. I'm just really not." If I recall, just a few weeks ago, after Her Loss dropped, there was a bar that sparked debate. Some believe Drake dissed the game for that failed Eminem diss with this, dissing on his album, and it flopped, he deserved it. Come up out the booth and bring that energy in person. But many others disagreed, as they believe it was directed at Pusha T, though that sparked another back and forth, as some concluded that Pusha didn't flop though, and following Pusha's latest interview, perhaps he believes this was directed at him, and in reaction to this interview, some have hit back at Pusha T with takes like, "Laughing my bum off, Pusha has based the entire last 4 years of his career on the fact that he had some lame gossip about Drake, loudly crying and skull emojis. And this was a recurrent point. Bro's whole career centered around his beef with Drake, loudly crying emoji, and they kept going in, says he's not interested in it anymore, yet the only time I hear about him is when he's talking about it, laughing emoji." And others have hit back with, "Someone asking him the question he can't answer now?" And it just goes round and round, as some believe this would have sufficed. I ain't talking about that today, man. Next question, Maji, what are your thoughts on this? Moving on to the next point, when 50 Cent was getting dragged, some made the mistake to go overboard with takes about 50, and if you saw our coverage of the story, you remember the tweets, including this one. 50 Cent literally only brings that energy towards women, a coward. Well, thousands on Twitter took a break from dragging 50 Cent to drag this user for this. This blew up. 50 had real beef with some of the realest killers from a real street gladiator era. Y'all gotta stop revising history in attempts to get points across. This is common on Twitter, misconstrue the facts because of hate. We've covered dozens of examples, especially linked to the Eminem and Mariah incident, and even Eminem and Michael Jackson, so nothing new, and users kept going in. The same 50 that was beefing his own son can't be loudly crying emoji, and some believe this tweet should be a Hall of Famer. This might be the most inaccurate tweet of all time, LOL. And check this out, this is why it's good to document history, because there's people that will try to rewrite it to fit their agenda. When it comes to villains in hip-hop, 50 Cent is up there. It's okay to dislike him, but to make up stories to keep the hate train going, ain't it? But this is normal behavior on Twitter, the same way we see it go viral all the time about how Michael Jackson bought Eminem's entire catalog when it was 2 or 3 songs included in a deal with thousands of songs from various artists. Moving on, check out what happened a few hours ago. Eminem has surpassed 6 billion streams on Spotify in 2022 as lead artist. And for some context on what this means, in 2021, Eminem earned 4.99 billion streams for the calendar year and 5.09 billion streams in 2020, a year he dropped Music to Be Murdered By and It's Deluxe. And this has sparked reactions like, "This is quite impressive, especially considering that Old Man Marshall hasn't dropped an album in 2 years." Another user reacts, "I'm actually flabbergasted. Like, how the hell he keeps staying on top when it comes to longevity like this, mind blown emojis." And perhaps this shows what happens when he's not hiding all year, as in 2022, Eminem was more active than usual. from the Super Bowl performance, Board 8 performance, XXL 20th anniversary issue, Power Pod interviews to the Rock Hall performance, makes you wonder what would happen if Eminem decides to properly promote his next album and have physicals ready. We could see close to MMLB2 numbers out the gate in my opinion if that happens. And for latest milestones, Mockingbird just hit 800 million streams on Spotify. It remains Eminem's most popular song on the platform at the moment, and Without Me just hit 1.4 billion streams. Share your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoy content like this, and see you on the next one.